We're always told that to be powerful, you have to speak up, right? You have to make your voice heard. But what if the real secret, the real superpower, is knowing when to just be quiet? Today, we're going to dive into the unspoken advantage of saying nothing at all. This ancient bit of wisdom from Buddha is such a great place to start. It's like a mental checklist. Before the words even leave your mouth, you just ask yourself, is this valuable? Is it actually necessary? Is it going to change anything? It's a powerful first step in realizing just how much weight our words can carry. Okay, but let's push that idea even further. What if the most powerful move you can make isn't just about filtering your words, but choosing not to speak at all? Now, this isn't about being passive or letting things happen. No. This is about making a strategic, intentional choice. So, when we talk about powerful silence, what do we actually mean? It's not just the lack of noise. It's an active thing. It's a state of being where you're totally focused, totally intentional. Think of it less like an empty space and more like a mental workshop where the real work gets done. All right, so first things first, we've got to look inward. Because before you can use silence to influence the world around you, you have to let it transform the world inside you. This is all about how that quiet stillness can build a foundation for focus, for peace, and for really knowing yourself. I love this quote because it just gets right to the point. When we finally manage to quiet all that external noise, the constant chatter, the opinions, the distractions, we can finally hear what's really going on inside. That's where your intuition lives. That's your own inner voice. There's this fantastic Buddhist story that illustrates this perfectly. Picture this. A king, super wealthy, had every luxury you could possibly imagine, but he was miserable. He couldn't find any inner peace. His mind was just this constant chaotic storm. He was desperate, so he goes to see this wise old monk, and the monk gives him this totally radical prescription. Go spend 15 days in a monastery. Live simply. And, this is the most important part, speak only when it's absolutely 100% necessary. And you can imagine, at first, it probably drove him crazy. But as the days went on, something started to shift. By just watching and listening and being still, all that chaos inside him started to settle. And he found this deep, profound peace that all his money could never, ever buy. He realized the source of his misery was his own endless internal chatter. So that king's journey, that's a perfect example of what's happening here. When you embrace silence, you're literally giving your brain a break. It reduces stress, it opens up space for creativity and new ideas, and it helps you build that all-important muscle of self-control. It's like creating a direct hotline to your own intuition. Okay, so we've established that silence is this amazing tool for our inner world. It brings us clarity, focus, and peace. But here's where it gets really interesting. That inner calm doesn't just stay inside. It radiates outward, and it transforms into real-world influence, trust, and yes, power. So, how do we actually use this? Let's switch gears from the internal to the external. We're about to explore how to wield silence as a strategic tool in your relationships, your career, and even in those really high-stakes negotiations. Let's go to a master of strategy, right? Sun Tzu. He knew something crucial. An enemy you can't read is an enemy you can't beat. When you stay silent, you become a blank slate, a mystery. They start second-guessing. Their focus shifts from their game plan to trying to figure out yours. Your silence becomes their biggest distraction. And this isn't just some ancient military tactic. It's so powerful that it's the fourth law of power in Robert Greene's famous book. It's so simple. Always say less than necessary. Why? Because the more you talk, the more likely you are to say something you shouldn't. When your words are rare, they suddenly have so much more weight. People literally lean in to hear them. You've seen this happen, right? Think back to school. A teacher's talking, and people's minds start to wander. But the second they go quiet, bam, every single eye snaps to the front of the room. That sudden absence of sound is a powerful signal to the human brain. It screams, pay attention, something important is happening. But it's not all about power plays and strategy. Silence is also this incredible tool for building trust. There's this famous story about Dale Carnegie. He spent an entire party just listening, really listening, to a florist talk about his passion. At the end of the night, the florist told him he was one of the best conversationalists he'd ever met. Carnegie barely said a word. It just proves that people don't connect with what you say, They connect with how you make them feel heard. Now, let's get really practical. A high-stakes situation, a negotiation. Here's the thing you need to know. Most people absolutely hate silence in a conversation. It feels awkward, it feels tense, and if you can get comfortable with that discomfort, you can use it as one of your most powerful tools. It's so simple, it's almost genius. Here's the play-by-play. They make their offer, what do? Nothing. You just pause. You hold eye contact and you stay silent. It might feel like an eternity to you, but it's only a few seconds. And I promise you, human nature cannot stand a vacuum. They will feel this immense pressure to fill that silence, and they'll often start giving away information or even sweetening the deal on their own, all without you having to say a thing. So, what's the big takeaway from all this? It's really about changing how we see silence. It's not passive, it's not weak, it's an active, powerful choice. It's a tool that you can choose to wield with intention. So, if you remember anything from this, remember these key things. First, silence is your secret weapon for finding inner peace. Second, saying less makes every word you do say hit harder. Third, listening is way more effective at building trust than talking. And finally, a well-timed pause, that can give you the upper hand in almost any situation. And I want to leave you with this really beautiful thought from the poet Rumi. He said, "Silence is the language of God. All else is poor translation." It's this idea that in the quiet, we connect with something deeper, a truth that words can only ever try to explain. So my question for you is this. In a world that is constantly screaming for your attention, in a world that never ever stops talking, what will your silence say?